Back to the another episode of Daily Quiz for IAS Prelims 2025. It is 31st October today, and in this video we are going to discuss various types of questions which are relevant for your prelims exam. You know, before we will start our discussion, I would like to introduce this initiative to you guys so that you will get more connected with the video. You know, in this video, we had taken three types of questions. The first set of questions which we discuss here are taken from the current affairs which were in the news today. You know, what we do, we take up the most important articles which are relevant for your preparation, whether mains or prelims. We break them down into the simplest language possible and we derive a prelims based question from those articles so that it will give you the idea how the questions can be asked or how the questions can be framed by the UPSC examiner from this topic, from this related topic. So we bring these questions here. So the first set of questions which we discuss here are taken from the current affairs. The another set of questions which we discuss here are taken from the static portion. If you had followed us, you would definitely know that every day we discuss a static topic here. We take up a discrete topic and discuss that and derive a prelims based question from that topic, so that it will give you the idea to what extent, to what discrete level the UPSC can go and how they can ask you questions from those small articles. So here right now we are discussing fundamental rights, and in fundamental rights today we are going to frame a question on article 29. After discussing these questions with respect to the static portion and the current affairs portion, we will shift our approach towards the last part of our discussion, where we will discuss few previous year questions. The motive of discussing the previous year questions is to discuss, to know what is the pattern used by the UPSC first. Second, to know the habit of UPSC, how they have this habit that they will continue asking the same question in different language, in different way, and also to know, as they are repeating these questions, to get as much information as possible from those questions which we can implement in the upcoming exam. So this is the last part of our discussion where we discuss the last previous year based questions. So this is in nutshell what we discuss in this video. So here, let me repeat again, we discuss three types of questions. Now before starting our discussion, I would like to request you guys few things which you should follow, which would be very much important for you. First of all, please don't skip the video, watch the video till the end, as I told you what are my sources of questions which we discuss here. And the good thing about this source is that it is same source which is used by the UPSC examiner. So there are high chances that many questions can coincide, or if not the questions, but trust me, concepts will be the same. And if you get knowledge from these questions, it will definitely help you in clearing the exam. So it is better for you, it is worthy to watch, it is worthy to spend this 10 to 15 minutes in this video so that it will prepare you well before you will enter your exam hall. Second thing which I would like to request you guys, it is a little bit technical. Please do note down the questions, and or at least take the screenshot of these questions. You know how it will help you. It may seem very much least important to you, but trust me, it is the best way to revise your current affairs, to revise your static topic. If you have these questions with you and your exams would be near, and you would want to revise all the books which you have, all the notes which you have prepared, but at that time the time is limited and it won't allow you to separate your arms. But if you have these questions with you, you would just revise these questions. It will definitely connect you with the current affairs as well as the static part also. So it will help you in covering both current affairs and static part, and in a way help you revise the current affairs and static part. And also it will help you in solving these almost 2 to 3,000 questions which we would discuss till our exams are near. Already we had discussed, I guess, more than 1,000 questions from last 3 to 4 months here. So if you will solve this much of questions you have with you, it will definitely boost your confidence, and before entering the exam hall your morale will be high, and your the knowledge, the practical knowledge which is needed for your exam would be best served to you, it would be best understood by you, and it will definitely help you in clearing the exam. So my request to you guys is, please note down these questions, it will definitely help you. And the last thing which I would like to mention here, please do subscribe the channel and share it with your friends so that they may also get benefited from this initiative. And also please do write in the comments what do you feel about the video. If there is any change needed, do write in the comments. We will definitely try to bring that change. And do write in the comments what do you feel about the video, what are the do criticize us if there is the need of the criticism, but be a little bit respectful in that regard, and do appreciate us if you think this is worthy to appreciate. Now without any delay, let's have a look at today's questions which we have to discuss. Let us start with question number 1, as it is about the black coat syndrome. So here the article says about the black coat syndrome, a term recently coined by the President of India, refers to. You would be wondering why we had taken this question directly here. The reason for that is, let's go a little bit detail. Let's discuss a little bit detail about the topic which was in the news. Actually, it is about the case pendency which is in our courts, the huge pendency of cases. It is said that once the case is delayed, when is the justice is delayed, it is equal to justice is denied. So in our courts, especially in the higher courts, it at least takes 7 to 8 years to give the conclusion of the case. So it takes huge time, there is huge burden of cases in our courts. And this article actually it mentions all this stuff, what is the reason for this huge burden of the courts. Even though we have high quality courts available, we have different layers of the courts available, we have tribunals, we have law commissions, we have laws which specify the time limit for the cases to be solved in, but still there is huge burden of cases. Still the cases take huge time to reach the level where the final judgment would be given. So here the article it has mentioned few reasons why it takes so much that much huge time in solving these cases. And the reasons given are, there is lack of appointment. What the laws say with respect to how much judges should be available in higher courts, that is missing. Only in the Supreme Court the actual number is matching. In other courts, in other high courts and the district courts, the judges which should have been available, they are not available. There is lack of appointment. There is, if we look at the judges with the population ratio, according to the law commission, it should have been 50 judges per million. But in our courts, if we look at what is the current situation in our courts, it is just 21 judges per million. So this even the recommended ratio is not available in our courts. So there is huge this lack of judges available, give. And also the ratio which should have been in our courts, it is not followed, the recommendations are not followed. And also one other reason for this is that if these judges are given extra work to different courts, that also leads to this huge adjournment of these cases. So these are few reasons mentioned by the court. And also this article also mentions that the term black coat syndrome, which we had discussed many times, but let's solve this question once for all, and let's get the best information from here. And it may be asked in the next prelims, as it has been mentioned by the president, it becomes very much significant for you. Now let's try to solve this question. Here the question says, the black coat syndrome, a term recently coined by the President of India, refers to. The first term, the anxiety and stress experienced by lawyers due to heavy caseload. It may seem right answer, but it is not. This stress is not felt by the context with which the president mentioned it. It was not the context, the stress felt by the lawyers. So this is totally incorrect. In UPSC exam or in other civil service exams, the options would be very much near, you may get confused. So that is the reason we practice these questions here, so that it will help you eliminate the wrong answers and help you to read the best answer possible. Second term, it says the fear and apprehension faced by accused individuals in court proceedings. It may also seem correct. The fear and apprehension faced by accused. individuals in court proceedings. But here is a catch. Here, the term this accused, this may make difference. Even though the statement itself is incorrect, it is very much incomplete statement. We can't say it is incorrect statement, but it is very much incomplete. So this statement B, it will remain there. We will shift towards the third and fourth statement, then we will discuss this B second statement again. The third statement, the financial burden faced by litigants in prolonged legal battles. This may also seem better, but it is not only the financial burden which has put this fear into the litigants or the ordinary citizens. So this is also incorrect. Fourth statement, the anxiety and stress experienced by ordinary citizens when dealing with the court system. This is the accurate definition of the black court syndrome. It is not only about the accused who has to involve with the courts. It is about the ordinary citizens. It is the complete statement with respect to the black court syndrome. So with respect to this question, the correct option would be option D. So I hope by discussing this question, you had got the basic idea about the black court syndrome. You had got the basic idea why we had taken up this question here. Now with this, let's move to the another question and try to solve that. Here the question is about the gold prices and the interest rates put forward by the central banks. You would be wondering why we had taken this question, because of the article which was mentioned in the Hindu newspaper today, which talks about the massive rally in gold prices. Why are gold prices rising since last 2 years? What is the reason for that? And what is its relationship with respect to the central banks? Gold, it is that asset which is most trustworthy according to the central banks, according to the international banks, according to the governments, according to the political parties, and according to the citizens, common citizens of the people. You would often hear that if you have to invest in anything, then invest in either in gold or real estate, invest in land or gold. So these are that assets which are very much trustworthy, especially the gold. But you would understand one trend here with respect to gold, which you should remember, that whenever the interest prices which are framed by the Central Bank of India, if those interest prices are high, they are rising, then you would understand one thing, that the gold prices will definitely decrease. Because why these decrease? Because the investors, they try to invest in different assets, because they will give them more profit as compared to the gold. So because of the interest rates, when they increase, the gold prices will tend to decrease, and this opposite also the same. So with respect to this question, let's try to solve this question and get the proper knowledge which is needed with respect to the gold prices and its relationship with the central bank interest rates. Here the question says, which of the following best describes the relationship between gold prices and the central bank interest rates? The first option, gold prices tend to rise when interest rates rise. No, it is totally incorrect, because it is opposite. When gold prices tend to rise, they tend to rise when the interest rates are down. So this first option is incorrect. Second option, there is no significant correlation between gold prices and interest rates. This is also incorrect. There is definitely a relationship between gold prices and interest rates. Third option, gold prices tend to fall when interest rates rise. 100% correct. This is the proper relationship between gold prices and interest rates, framed by central banks. Option D, gold prices and interest rates tend to move in the same direction. Totally incorrect. So with respect to this question, the correct statement is option C. With this, I hope you had understood this trend, this relationship between the central bank interest rates, why the gold prices change with respect to the central bank interest rates. I hope you had understood this basic economic concept. With this, let's move to the another question and try to solve that. Here the question is about India's, if we look at the recent diplomatic engagement India has shown towards the European countries, now we will understand what is the reason. As we had seen recently, the German Chancellor, he was in India. Then finally we saw that PM of Spain was also in India. We are showing India's approach towards the Europe, as India is trying to as India is trying to go for the free trade agreements with the European Union. So it is binding on India to have a good relationship with other European countries. As we had seen, we are the part of the IMEC corridor. So it is very much important. The Europe has been the center for our diplomatic relations from last 1 to 2 years. So with respect to this, we will see what is the main reason for that. The question says India has recently intensified its diplomatic engagement with the European countries. This renewed focus is primarily driven by first statement, the declining importance of traditional partners in Asia. No, this is not the answer. This can't be the answer, and always remember this is never the answer. Second statement, the desire a desire to diversify economic and strategic partnership. This is true. It is the desire of a country to diversify its economic and strategic partnership. So the country like us, the country who is trying to be the global leader, has to diversify its relationships, whether they are the near neighbors or they are the far neighbors. We have to diversify our relationship with every country. Our approach should be very much different. We had seen that if we will talk about the recent conflicts happening, we had shown very much neutral approach, especially with respect to Russia, with respect to Israel and Palestine war. We had shown our neutral approach. We are trying to show the world that whatever situation the countries are in, irrespective of their choices, we are ready to have the global partnership with those countries. So this option B is definitely correct with respect to this question. Now coming to the third statement, the increasing geopolitical tensions in the Indo-Pacific region. No, this is totally incorrect. This is not, this can be the reason, but it is not the total reason for that. So statement C is also incorrect. Option D, the need to secure greater access to European markets. The need to secure the greater access. This is not the primary driver, but this is also needed for our diplomatic relations, but it is not the primary driver that we are trying to have diplomatic engagement with European countries. But with respect to this question, we will mark this correct, because if we look at the options, option B and option D, they are very much similar. So option B and D becomes correct with respect to this question. Now with this, let's move to the another question and try to solve that. Here the question is with respect to the Depsang Plains and Demchok. Demchok, it is a geography based question. We had recently seen that troops completed disengagement. India and China has indeed made progress in it. So they had completed the disengagement in these in these areas. So we need to know to which union territory or the state they belong to. Here the question says, in which state union territory are the Depsang Plains and Demchok located? Is it Jammu and Kashmir? No, if it was the 2018, then it would have been would have been the answer, but it is not. Is it Himachal Pradesh? No. Is it Uttarakhand? No. It is definitely in Ladakh. So correct answer to this question is option B. With this, let's move to the another question and try to solve it. Here the question is about the donkey route. Is a term associated with, you would wonder why we had taken this question here, because US has sent back 1100 Indians who try to enter illegally. So it is definitely about the illegal immigration. Now let us try to answer this question. The question, the statements, first statement, an ancient trade route between India and China, totally incorrect. Option B, an illegal immigration route to the United States, 100%. It was basically the illegal immigration route to the United States used by different people. With respect to India, used by Indians who try to have the better future in the United States. So it is not, they are low skilled or less educated people. So usually it is very hard for them to get the visa to that country. So they tend to move to these countries in a different, using these illegal agents which show them this illegal routes through these donkey routes through which they try to pass in and get into the country. So option C, a traditional pilgrimage route in India, totally incorrect. Option D, a smuggling route for precious metals, totally incorrect. So with respect to this question, the correct statement is option B. Now with this, let's move to the current affairs. It is about the now let's see what the question says. According to the National Disaster Management Plan, an L3 disaster is characterized by. Here why we are discussing this L3 disaster, because the Kerala government has asked the central government that it should be put into the L3 category of the disaster, which violent disasters which happened there. So they want that disasters be equated with L3 disasters. And what is the reason to get this L3 disaster category status? So that they will attract more funds. So with respect to this L3 disaster, we need to understand what does it mean. First statement, a localized disaster requiring response at the district level. It is totally incorrect. If it would have been a localized disaster requiring response at the district level, then it would have been L1 disaster. Option B, a widespread disaster requiring state level response. It is also incorrect. A state level response is needed in L2 disaster. Option C, a catastrophic disaster requiring a national level response. This is correct. L3 disaster is a catastrophic disaster where a central response is needed. And then here a minor disaster that can be managed at the local level, it is L0 disaster. So these are the disasters which I think you need to know. With respect to L3 disaster, it is a catastrophic disaster requiring a national level response. So with this, let's move to the another question and try to solve that. I guess this is not the last question, but the question which we are going to discuss now is the last question with respect to the current affairs which were in the news today. Here the question is about Tiangong space station. The question is a very direct and straightforward question. It says that Tiangong space station is a project of which country? Does it belong to South Korea? No. Does it belong to Japan? No. Does it belong to China? Yes. And European Union, it can't be the answer because the name suggests so. So with respect to this question, the Tiangong space station is a project of China. With this, we had completed the questions with respect to the current affairs. Now we will shift our approach towards the static topic and solve a static question here. And today's static topic is Article 29, and we will solve a question on Article 29. Here the question says, which of the following statements about Article 29 of the Indian Constitution is correct? The first statement, Article 29 provides the right to any section of citizens to conserve their distinct culture, language or script. 100% correct. Nothing wrong with this statement. Statement 2, Article 29 specifically applies only to religious minorities. No, it does not apply to religious minorities, as we can see from the statement 1. It applies to the cultural minorities, linguistic minorities, or it includes the religious minorities, but it is not specific to the religious minorities. Statement 3, the article allows the states to make special provisions for the advancement of any socially and economically backward classes. No, this special provision is given in Article 15, not Article 29. So with respect to this question, the correct statement is option 1 only. So with this, we had completed the static topic question also. Now let's move towards the last part of our discussion, in which we will solve some previous year questions. Here the first question says, consider the following statements. The Government of India Act 1935 provided for the provincial government. 100% correct. It provided for the provincial autonomy. It replaced diarchy with the provincial autonomy. Second statement, the establishment of federal court. 100% correct. All India Federation at the center. 100% correct. So with respect to this question, the correct statements are option 1, 2 and 3. All the statements are correct. So here what we get to know that a similar type of question can be asked by UPSC. Here they will only ask about the provincial autonomy. It was given under which law by British government, or they will directly ask you about the federal courts, or they will directly ask you a question about the Indian Federation at the center. So what becomes important for us here? Here we need to know about these independence laws which were brought up by the British government. So they become important for us. That this is the torch shown by the UPSC examiners to us how we have to go through our preparation. Now coming to the last question of today's discussion, it says under whose presidency was the Lahore session of Indian National Congress held in the year 1929, wherein a resolution was adopted to gain complete independence from the British. So here we get many questions can be framed directly from this question itself. First, who was the president at the Lahore session? Second, Lahore session held in which year? Third, and the complete independence was the resolution as the complete independence was raised at which session? So these three questions can be asked from the same a single question which was asked this year. I don't know which year it was, but this question was asked. So here the correct answer to this, as here it talks about the presidency, who was the president at that time, it is definitely Jawaharlal Nehru. So with respect to this question, the correct statement is option C. So with this, I hope you had understood the video. You know, the motive of this video is to discuss the questions, but the way we are discussing it, it will definitely help you in clearing your current affairs as we discuss them with respect to the questions. Definitely, if you watch these videos and you would read the current affairs, you will definitely see the match there. It will boost your confidence and it will help you in revising your current affairs when you revise these questions of full year. So with this, let us say the goodbye. Thank you and have a nice day.